Well, hello and welcome to the show. It is I, Christian, and been sitting here pondering how, back in the day we used to be told, hey, don't go play in traffic. Well, nowadays we've got a new kind of traffic, and it's on the information superhighway, and we have just the guy that's going to help us out with that. You ready? I think you are.
And now, broadcasting for the millions across the interweb from somewhere inside the Kansas City International Airport, it's the Random Kristian Show!
Yes, here it is. Here we are, and here I am. We are sans Andrew today. Andy regrettably could not be with us, so it's randomly just me. Hello. Hey, we've got Russ Tuttle, the man of the hour. He is with the Stop Trafficking Project, which good old Run to Stop It here puts together to help fund. And we've been talking about, in fact, we're trying to raise money to get a $300 matching donation for the old Run to Stop It, so that way we can help support the cause. Russ's the Stop Trafficking Project is one of three main nonprofits that the Run to Stop It helps. And it's also Ben Ginolo. He was on here a couple of months ago, or about a month ago, and he's with Exodus Cry, and then also Relentless Pursuit is another one of them. And I think there's a couple others, but these are the main projects that the Run to Stop It tries to help. And Russ is very active with our youth and getting with them. He goes to the schools. He goes and talks with these kids and tells them about all how they're being duped in the sex trafficking. Well, we'll get to that, and we'll have him join us here in a little bit, and you will see what we're talking about. Some of these stories are just mind blowing, and for parents, really need you to pay attention, because some of these things that he's going to talk about, you're just going to have no idea. And you're absolutely going to be amazed at what is being thrown at your kids and what what you'll see and find out that they're being exposed to. So glad to have you along. Glad to have you here. And speaking of trafficking, this show is never complete without our good old, where is it? There it is. The Random 9 list. There we go. And now we're please mind, we're not making light of this situation, but we are bringing it in a lighter a way of showing it to you, I guess we should say. So anyway, that being said, we have the Random 9 list, and this week we've got, well, now it disappeared. See, when Andy's here, things go so much smoother. It's crazy. We've got, where'd it go? 9 things we'd run to stop. Yes, 9 random things that we would run to stop if we could run, or if I could run. And trust me, if you've seen me run, it's not pretty. No, it's really not. But yeah, so let's get to her. The 9 random things that you'd run to stop if you could. And we've got the band going a little long. So, all right, you got it, guys. Well done. Thank you. Wrap it up. There we go. See, we didn't hit the post on that one. And back in the old radio days, that's what it's about. But anyway, so here we go. 9 random things you'd run to stop if you could. Starting with, of course, number 9, Your toddler with scissors headed straight for the dog. Both are equally dangerous either way, especially if, your dog's not a happy dog. Let's see. We've got number 8. The microwave. Everybody does this. The microwave from hitting, finishing. So you stop it on the 1 second mark. I am classic for doing this. And because, everyone in the house needs to know that you stopped it just in time. So that way you don't get that annoying me. I'm not a good buzzer. I'm really not. Here. There's a buzzer. Or ding. Yay. All right. Yeah. Going like gangbusters. Where are we at? Number 7. Number 7 is of 9 random things you'd run to stop your dog from eating that mystery snack on the sidewalk. It's not a mystery snack, and it's not a Tootsie Roll either. That's for sure. Yeah. Okay. Probably should have just skipped that one altogether, but nevertheless, that's what we do, and that's why we bring it to you. Okay. Number 6. Random things that you'd run to stop. The smoke alarm. Because it's not because there's a fire, but you're just not that good with the waffle maker. That's for sure. Hello. Yeah. Sounds like this. This is why I just stick to toast. It's got a timer. It's done. Piece of cake. Just saying. Moving on. Egos. All right. Numero 5. 5 golden random things that you'd run to stop. Number 5. Someone about to put the wrong kind of lotion on their face. Yeah, that's not moisturizer. It's icy hot. Not a good idea. Nope. Or, yeah, mixing up the hair gel with the toothpaste. Sure, that's probably happened at some point. Or hemorrhoid cream, I think, is that's always a common one. Yeah, sure. Right. Okay. Where are we at? Number 4. Number 4. Your friend sending that 2 a.m. you up text. True friendship requires tackling or ignorance, and I don't think I know anybody that would be doing that, but you never know. I mean, I'm up at 2 a.m., so what do I know? Okay, where are we at? Number 3. Number 3, random 9 things that you'd run to stop. A kid about to shake a juice box with the straw already in it. Yeah, instant fruit punch crime scene is the result of that, especially if you've got the light carpets. Of course, everybody's got hardwood floors nowadays, so I guess not that big of an issue. I don't know. Anyway, moving on to number 2, 9 random things that you'd run to stop. And number 2 is anyone putting the toilet paper roll on backwards. How many of you, all right, just let me know, are so annoyed with that. That happens at work all the time. And it's pretty crappy thing to have happen. It's a crappy thing to have happen. I do enjoy myself in this show. Sometimes a bit too much, I'll just say. All right, here it is. The big finish. The number 1 random thing you'd run to stop. yourself when that song "Don't Stop Believin'" hits the radio. Because deep down, you really can't stop yourself from singing that song and believing that you're singing in tune. So there it is. Yeah. Nine random things we'd run to stop if we could. And especially that last one. Because when we're in the car, just like in space, nobody can hear you scream, sing, scream. Make a lot of noise. All right. So there it is. 9 random things just for you kids. And now, speaking of random things and amazing random things, hey, I've got something random for you. It's called salsa. And I know we talk about it quite a bit here, but I've got 3 amazing salsas from an amazing lady, and they're fresh, they're delicious, they're in the refrigerated section. If you're in one of the stores from the Pacific Coast to the Rocky Mountains, I'm talking about Mrs. A's famous salsa buena. That's right. The most amazing salsa you will ever taste if you can. Now open in 160 Save Mart stores. These are the most delicious salsas you will have. And she's coming out with a couple extra new flavors. Right now, she's got the regular, which is, I guess, the mild, whatever you want to call it. There is my personal favorite, which is salsa verde. Uh, just mind-blowing delicious. And then there's the hot, which really, if you just like a good heat, a little but not something that's overpowering where like ghost peppers or whatever. This is the one for you right now. Let me tell you. It's so delicious. All 3 of them are absolutely fantastic. The great thing about them too, no onions. That's right. You can eat these, go on a date, and enjoy nachos and burritos and whatever you put salsa on. Hey, ho-hos and ding-dongs, people are into that. It's the spicy, sweet, big mix. I don't know. This is the salsa for you. And again, you find it in the refrigerated section because it's all made fresh, and then it's put into, and it's shipped cold, and it's shipped to your store, and it's fresh, and it's in the refrigerated section, and it's super delicious. So all great, natural, fresh ingredients. It's all right there for you. Go check it out. Go to mrsafamous.com to find out a store near you that's going to carry this. mrsafamous.com. You can also, on there, find her recipes that she's been on the show and she's cooked and made for us, or for you, or, well, actually, she's shown you how to do it and what to do, and we've just sat here and drooled because we don't get to really eat the delicious food. But we do get to eat some of that salsa when she makes it available for us. So go check it out, mrsafamous.com, Mrs. A's famous salsa buena, in a store near you from the Pacific Coast to the Rockies. It's out there. All you got to do is find it. If you can't find it, ask your grocer why they aren't carrying the best salsa they could ever carry. I'm just saying, and maybe rattle them around a little bit and just kick them in the shin if they don't. Maybe they will at that point. I don't know. Or just be nice. Give them a hug and say, I really, really would appreciate you carrying our salsa. Please. All right. So here we go, kids. That's it. Mrs. A's famous salsa buena. Go get it. Buy it. Enjoy it. It's delicious. It's amazing. And, all right. Anyway. So now, speaking of amazing, and, well, I guess there's just no other way to put this. We've got a gentleman, his name, Russ Tuttle, and he is with the Stop Trafficking Project, and we're bringing him on because this man does incredible work. Russ, there you are, sir. How are you?
Kristian, I love how you put there you're the jaywalker to stop trafficking. So not too long ago, I had this guy come up to me and he was saying, he said, man, I'm just so passionate about ending trafficking. I'm like, really? That's awesome. And he was like, yeah, he said, I live in this community where it's just rampant. And I want to ask you about, what you can do to help us stop it. I'm like, man, absolutely. We're like connecting on these levels. And he goes, yeah, man, every time I see somebody walk across the street and they're not in the crosswalk, man, they're trafficking. I'm like, dude, what the thunder, man? No, that's jaywalking, not trafficking. And I had to like pop his bubble up and realize he is actually not an expert in the crime of trafficking, human trafficking, sex trafficking, domestic sex trafficking. He's just a busybody trying to keep people in the crosswalk. So it's two totally different things. So your title there, Jaywalker to Stop Trafficking, is just perfect. I know you've never heard that story before, but that's the sad reality.
And yes, because a lot of people, again, they hear trafficking and that's really what they instantly think of, isn't it? I mean, do you get a lot of confusion with that?
Yeah, so much. A lot of people get confused over human trafficking versus human smuggling. And so they think that a human being physically has to be removed somewhere before it's human trafficking. So human smuggling of taking someone from another country, physically removing them into another place, that's the only thing that sex trafficking or labor trafficking or organ harvesting can be. And in reality, human trafficking, you don't have to move a body around, right? So that's where years ago I discovered that my perspective changed, because I realized like there's a potential level of exploitation in every zip code in America, potentially, because when we have a new perspective, things change. And so the reality is that what we started discovering years ago is that there's actually students, American kids protected by American law, having some of the most horrific things happening to them. And so years ago, I thought, man, somebody's got to do something about this. And I know there's many organizations doing a lot of things, but our lane where we decided to land was not in the crosswalk,
Right.
crossing the street carefully. There's multiple lanes in the abolitionist movement to end human trafficking. And the lane that we landed in, that we are hyper focused on, is to make sure that we find a way to end it before it starts. What that means is we want to end sexual exploitation of kids and the crime of sex trafficking of minors before it can start. Because what happens is the system's totally broken once a kid's been exploited. So our heart is to make sure a kid never needs to be, quote unquote, rescued by law enforcement. And we don't want a kid to ever need to be seen by a sexual assault nurse examiner. And we don't do like a lifetime of ongoing housing assistance and counseling and trauma care and food stamps because of trauma they've experienced as a minor. What we found out is 100% of the kids that we had been working with over the years who were actual victims of the crime of domestic minor sex trafficking, it all started through a device like this.
Mm-hmm.
So we landed on something to go, hey, so we're not angry at kids, and we're certainly not against technology.
Right.
Okay. But what we decided to do is let's start telling kids the truth about what can actually be happening to them in those spaces. And so that's really kind of where we landed at. So we're now at about 138,000 plus students that we've talked to, primarily in the state of Kansas and Missouri, and a little bit in Michigan and some in Washington State. But we're pretty much right now focused on Washington State or Missouri and Kansas. And then we're closing on about 150,000 adults that we've educated and empowered about the reality that, hey, this is not jaywalking. Okay? There's an actual crime called domestic minor sex trafficking. And that just
not speeding in the school zone. This is
not that. No, it's sometimes that perspective can just turn everything around and just change everything for helping people understand. So, and then when it comes to students, a lot of times I think adults are just constantly like bombarding kids with like, be safe online and don't do this and don't do that. And you shouldn't have this app and shouldn't do this and shouldn't do that. After a while, I'm just telling you, kids are tuning that out. And so we've really been blessed with favor to go into public schools and appeal to kids where they actually live. And when they can tell that we authentically are not angry at them and we really aren't against their technology, I'm telling you what, some of the most heartbreaking stories, but also some of the most rewarding and oftentimes, honestly, really hilarious things happen when kids realize that, you know what, I can be the hero in my own online story. Like, I don't want to be exploited in this way. I don't want my friends to be exploited in this way. I was tough story. I was recently in a school just a few weeks ago. And obviously I don't name the community or where it was at to protect them, but I started the day, and what we do when we come into a community is the night before school assemblies, we pull together people who are associated with that school. So law enforcement, and medical professionals and counselors and the faith community and kind of the y'all come moms, dads, parents, foster parents, then business leaders, community leaders, legislators, and then of course school personnel. So we invite them to come together to help them understand what's actually happening to students online, because the difficult truth is there's three kinds of people. There are perverts, and there are predators, and there are pimps, and they are preying on our kids when they're online. So we educate and empower them to become trusted adults in their community. The next day, or however many days it takes, depending on how large the community is, then we do age appropriate student assemblies. It's all about online safety, right? In the context of trafficking. So kindergarten, first and second grade, that's the first age grouping, then third to fifth, then sixth to eighth, then ninth to 12th. As it goes in progression, the more deep we go into the content. So one interesting thing happened a few years ago. So I got done doing a elementary age presentation for kindergarten, first and second grade. And so the highlight of that is there's an animated movie about my dog Bandit. And Bandit is a miniature Australian Shepherd. And he is just an amazing dog. But even as amazing as he is, even though he will stay in my front yard without moving, when I take him on a walk or run, I put him on a leash. Why do I do that? Because of perspective, right? It's not that I don't trust my dog Bandit. I can't trust the environment. I can't trust that person driving around isn't going to do something and maybe hit my dog. If I've got him on a leash, he's safe. So it's kind of with that understanding, this animated movie appeals to the hero in kids. So I had this adorable little girl walk up to me in kindergarten, and she looks at me and she goes, "Are you a badult?" And I was like, "A badult?" Like, so little kids get really excited sometimes. They can't. So she meant to say, "Are you an adult?" And it came out badult. So I was like, "Why, yes, I am. I'm a badult." And so I thought that's the most adorable thing ever. And so over the years, it's been really crazy because I've now had 39 little kindergartners call me a badult. So I've now incorporated that into our assemblies. It's like, let's take a learning moment, right? So now when we go talk to high school kids and we use a cinematic movie experience with a live facilitator. Okay. And the cinematic movie experience is about, it's telling 5 victim survivor stories. Okay. And we're protecting their identities. But we're talking to kids about the realities of what happened. So Amy was 12 when her online exploitation started. Samantha was 13, and she met a complete stranger in person she thought was the same age. Brian was 14, and he ended up with naked pictures online because he met this amazing female. Well, it wasn't an amazing female. It was someone sextorting this kid. So your audience needs to know that the crime of sextortion has increased 18,000% from 2023 to 2024.
That's not like a little 18%. No, it's 18,000.
18,000. So that was 2021 to 2023. So those are National Center Missing Exploited Children statistics. So they're measuring those things. And so an 18,000% perspective goes, okay, this is certainly not jaywalking, right? This is not. This is like something real, and it's the information highway through here. And kids are half brains. I got shocking news for your audience. They're half brains. Okay, I'm not making fun of kids. I'm not putting them down. The science of the brain's not going to be developed until they're 25 years old.
Yeah.
So there's actually a point in our assemblies where we talk about the science of the brain. I don't do it for the really little kids, kindergarten to second grade, and I don't do it for the high schoolers because high schoolers are too cool to do this. But man, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders and the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, they love this part of the assembly where we stop and I say, make a scientific statement to your friend. Look them in the eye and tell them this: you're a half brain. And they do it. And you know what happens? They start busting up laughing, and chaos breaks out for like 30 seconds in these all school assemblies. You know, anywhere from 100 kids to 1,500 kids, whatever the size of the school is. And they're busting up laughing because they're calling each other half brains. Why are they laughing? Because they're half brains. Well, we're not making fun of them and we're not putting them down. We're helping them realize and understand that, listen, the reality is the things that you are encountering in your online life, you're not equipped to deal with that in this half brain stage of life. And so you combine that with this, hey, everybody needs a badult. And so a badult is a trusted adult.
There you go.
So it softens the blow for a high schooler to say, listen, when you've made a mistake online, and we don't say if you're going to make a mistake, it's when you make a mistake. Who's your adult? Who's that trusted adult in your life? Who's the person who's going to say, you can't cross the street just jaywalking? Okay, you got to be in the crosswalk. Okay, this information highway of online space, Big tech is not the friend of our kids. The
Right.
algorithms that they on purpose put into these devices, we've got kids doom scrolling. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm worried about TikTok not going away. It's still here. Guess what? The algorithms haven't changed. Just because it's coming under different ownership now in America, the algorithms have not yet changed. And their own internal documents reveal that there is, on purpose, within 35 minutes of using TikTok, there's an addiction phase that kicks in within 35 minutes.
Yeah.
And the number of people,
I can't imagine being on there for 35 minutes.
yeah, and so kids on average are on there hours, right?
Yeah.
They're on there in hours. So the addiction. So if you're one of those perverts, pairs, or pimps who's preying on kids, then all these different algorithms that are feeding into these different things that kids are coming addicted to, that is their new playground. So we say at the Stop Trafficking Project, when it comes to sex trafficking, okay, it's not jaywalking, it's not being the crosswalk, and it's also, when it's real sex trafficking, it's not the creepy vehicle and an abduction.
Right. Yep.
It's not about a creepy vehicle and an abduction.
No windows.
That's right. It's all about life online and seduction.
Right.
And that's why we developed our strategy to go into schools. We're not angry at kids. We're not against the technology, but we're going to tell them the truth about, man, when you're online, these are things that are happening because so Amy's 12, gets exploited online. Samantha's 13. Brian, who's 14, takes his clothes off, sends the pictures, 18,000% extortion. He ended up, interestingly enough, $18,000 on his dad's credit card trying to keep his pictures offline. And the people who had his pictures, they still shared all of his pictures anyway. And now I got a kid who's going to die by suicide. So who's his goals?
It just one thing leads to another, just a downward spiral all the way through.
It's this downward spiral.
Yeah.
So in the cinematic movie, we show the middle school and high school. So you've got Amy's story, you got Samantha's story, you got Brian, so you got Jean-Jacques' story, who's 16, and he was on Facebook and starts exposing himself to a female on the other end. And as soon as he exposed himself, the screen goes blank. And they start sending him a message, we're going to show this to your mom. Who is this where you live? And then Natalie is 18. So we got from 12 to 18, and we're covering their stories in the cinematic movie experience. Because guess what? Kids know this is real. And Natalie's thing was she's 18, so she's technically old enough. And so she's sharing pictures with an older guy who's going to send her an allowance. But what he began threatening her with was everything was happening through Snapchat. And her, so even as an 18-year-old, she's still a half brain. She thinks everything I'm doing is going to disappear. Yeah. And in her own words, she's like, somehow the guy found a way to keep pictures, and he threatened me that if I didn't do all these things, he was going to post me on a porn website. This is the kind of reality stuff that kids go through, Kristian. I mean, it's the most incredible, crazy thing. So I actually consider it a true honor to stand in front of students and talk about this very difficult topic, because I honestly look at these students and go, there's a hero in every one of you, and I want to call the hero out. So, hey, if you're going to cross the street, do it in the crosswalk. You're a hero. Don't go through busy traffic. When it comes to this device and your online space, you know what? We're going to give you principles. We're going to give you guidance for you to be the hero, to step up. And it is so amazing that kids do exactly that. So I had a girl in second grade. Yeah. And at the end of the assembly with this animated movie talking about My Dog Bandit, she comes up and she tells me, and she shows me her phone. She's on an adult dating app. And she's got 17 adult men who are trying to get her to take her clothes off and send pictures and meet in person. A second grade girl. You want to know where she learned the behavior? From her 10th grade sister. Oh, dude. So when I'm telling high schoolers that story, it's like the littles are looking up to you. Right. So what happens is kids get super motivated. So I recently had a bunch of 8th grade girls come up to me at the end of the assembly. And they said, you have just motivated us. So we're going to make some different changes online. And here's what we did recently. So this was a school I'd been a couple of years in a row. Right. And so they came to me and said, okay, Mr. Tuttle, we've got these 8th grade boys, and they've just been bombarding us and bugging us for hot pics. Right. They're trying to get these girls to take revealing sexually explicit pictures, videos. And they said, we just got so sick of these boys asking for these pictures. They said, we finally gave in, and my heart sank. And they said, and we took the pictures and we're going to show you. I'm like, no. And they're like, no. They're like, no, it's not that. So what these girls did, okay, 8th grade girls, half brains, but they'd been told the truth. They went to the grocery store and they bought a bunch of Hot Pockets. the little pizza things, Hot Pockets, and they put them in the microwave.
No.
And you talk about something in your 9 to run to stop the whole microwave thing. I'll say, so these girls on purpose, they tripled the amount of time that the instructions said to put the Hot Pockets in, and they just about burned the house down, right? So what they do is they got these Hot Pockets just like smoking on fire, and they pull them out and they take pictures and videos of these Hot Pockets. So they got these steaming Hot Pockets, and they said they send the pictures to these boys, right? And they go, hey, here's your hot picks. And I'm like, that's a hero move right there.
That is
right.
that is ingenious, is what that is.
That is, and they're half brains. But what's the difference? So,
but the right half of the brain was working on that part. So that's right. That's a good.
That's right. And the difference is a adult, right? A trusted adult stepped into their space, and they sent those pictures, and then they went to a couple of adults in the school. They went to their counselor, they went to the school resource officer, and they said, these boys are driving us crazy, and here's their names.
Yeah, good.
And we have blocked them, and we deleted them, but not until we had some fun, right? We took these pictures, these Hot Pockets, and we sent them. And I'm like, that's a hero move, not so much on the girls' part, but on the girls' part, but not so much on the guys' part. The cool part is because so what happened? The boys all of them have porn addictions that they stumbled into in young ages, right?
Right. Because
the algorithms are happening. They actually think like this is normal, fun behavior. So when those adults, those trusted adults, were able to step into those boys' lives as well, they were actually able to reconcile that situation over some time, help the young men step into heroes of self. Because have they continued that pattern, they would have become those perverts or predators themselves, potentially the worst case scenarios, pimps, right? And that would be an extreme thing. So that's a thing to encourage, like, your audience to go, okay, this is deep and dark and ugly, but when I'm out there with kids, there's a lot of fun that happens.
Yeah, no. And again, those boys could have ended up on the wrong side of all of that anyway, with their porn addiction and whatnot, getting triggered. For those of you on the audio version of this we got Russ Tuttle with us from the Stop Trafficking Project, that the Run to Stop It program is helping fund, the one we're trying to raise the extra $300 for, to get the $300 matching donation. So, make sure you get in there and go to therockofkc.com and go down to the donation. You got to go all the way to the bottom on the donate. You click on the Run to Stop It, go down to the bottom, click on the button to donate, and put in the notes, memo notes, TRKS, RTSI, and whatever you can. And we're trying to get that $300 extra donation or matching donation. Russ is the forefront in going in front of our kids out there. Now you're basically mostly in Kansas and Missouri, correct, Russ?
Mostly Kansas, Missouri. We're doing some things in Michigan, and we spend a couple weeks every year in Washington State, and it's going to open up more to us. We're just kind of finding where our capacity is, what we can actually handle. We've got requests from several other states around the country to do some things as well. And right now we're just kind of pumping the brakes, saying no, because we just don't have the capacity yet. We're trying to raise the funds to build the team bigger and actually have the facilitators who can go be those adults. Goes to. Yeah, to be those adults who can go do the presentation to the kids and actually make the difference. So, and it's crazy because when I do this whole adult thing, right? So unfortunately,
I love the adult thing. That's beautiful.
It's so great. We literally hear reports of kids walking around afterwards, for weeks. Like high schoolers, middle schoolers go, "Who's your adult?" Right? Like the follow-up stuff we have afterwards, right? And that's a beautiful thing, because unfortunately for a lot of our kids, there's not a trusted adult at home. And so unfortunately now what I have to do is I actually have to define for kids what is a trusted adult. Right. Because unfortunately a trusted adult is not someone just based on the fact that they have a title or position in a kid's life. Because unfortunately too many of our students have been harmed by people who have trusted places of position of power and authority in our lives. Yeah. So that's kind of how this whole thing works. But when they have those adults in their lives, and a lot of times it's through the school, especially if they don't have someone in their home, I mean, it's a powerful and beautiful thing. So in fact, I had this kid, so I had this fourth grade kid. He comes up to me at Evan Assembly, and he walks up to me and he said, "Now I know, Mr. Tuttle, that you said in Assembly, it's not about getting someone in trouble. It's about keeping my friends safer. But he said, I got to tell you, I want to get some kids in trouble." And he names these boys. And he says, they're all in 6th grade. and they're on bus number 9. And I watch them every morning and every day going to school, and they have their phones and they are showing little kids pornography on their phones.
Yeah.
I want to get them in trouble. I'm like, dude, fist bump like that. Like, yes, like you're a hero. Like you are stepping up to be a hero. And I hear, listen, I hear the heartbreaking stories, but the fun stories are like what is just so amazing when kids come up and go, you know what? I am a hero.
Right. And
I am a
the
hero.
great thing is,
and you're my adult. I'm a half brain hero.
the great thing is you are getting these kids to get the courage to step up and say, no, this is not right. And no, you're not going to show that to my neighbor's, second grade kid or whatever, unfortunately, because there are a lot of school buses that do have the intermixing. It's not just, elementary and then high school. I mean, I know they try to do that, but there's lots of places where they don't. And, just because of funding and whatnot. So I heard about it a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago, but when I had custody of my daughters and they were riding the school bus, they were in middle school, but they're riding with the high schoolers. And one of my daughters was always talking about a bunch of kids, usually boys, but they're showing porn and they're looking at porn on their phones. And so she actually reported it to the school bus driver. School bus driver in turn got off the bus with the boys, went to their house and said, hey, your son is using his phone to look at pornographic material. And I'm not sure what the exact end result was, but I know there was a lot of unhappy parents. And the problem is, we as parents, even as much as we can try to stay involved, it gets past us. If they got a will, there's a way. And because the pornographic industry and all that, they make it so easy. Well, look at the Roblox thing. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, how often do you find things like that where parents are just like, I had no idea. Things that they think are safe are completely being devastated by these predators sneaking in. How often do you find a lot of that?
Yeah, literally every presentation I do for adults, whether it's for professionals in law enforcement or sexual assault nurse examiners, or it's for other professionals, or it's the general public. I hear it literally every time I speak to adults. They're like, I had no idea. Like one of the things on Roblox right now is the XYZ room. It's bathroom sex.
Yeah.
I mean, so and now you've got 52% of teens in America, and this is a pattern I'm seeing nationwide. 52% of teens are consistently using an AI companion for relationship and advice and romance and fun and adventure. I'm literally having students now in school assemblies tell me I would rather communicate with my AI companion than what you call a adult.
Right. Because
that's
companion tells them what they want to hear.
That's right.
Yeah, and a adult.
So that's right. But an actual trusted adult is gonna give them guidelines, and it's gonna be like my dog Bandit. You don't leave the front yard unless you're on a leash. It's a safety thing. It's a boundary. Well, kids might initially think they don't want that because they're half brains, but deep down intuitively, they know they appreciate the boundaries. They know they like the boundaries. That's a thing that has to happen, right?
And there's Bandit in the background now.
Yeah, Bandit's up there barking right now. Yeah, appreciate that. Right on cue.
Hey,
dog.
Nope, I'd rather have him out there barking than sitting there laying asleep going, whatever, just go ahead, do what you do.
Right. It means either the FedEx guy or Amazon or UPS is here, probably.
Yeah, I get that. Now, one of the things I was going to ask about, it just totally slipped my head. But now, due to this, the Roblox kind of thing, how can we as parents, I guess, how do we, besides just sitting over their shoulder all the time, how is there another way that we can safeguard our kids? Because, and again, I know Roblox started off innocent and then it got infiltrated. Okay. But, and the sad thing is Roblox is defending all that crap now. But, there's a lot of good, fun sites out there that kids should be allowed to play on. How do we know what is and what isn't, and how do we get it to make it safe for them to be on some of these sites, or do we just say no? I mean, is there just no way of doing that? Do you know?
Well, so there's a balance there because technology is never going away, right? So
Right.
we actually have an app. So if you go to our website, the stoptraffickingproject.com, we have an
Yeah, which
entire
I've got
resource
scrolling
section.
down here.
Yeah, we've got an entire resource section. On the bottom of our page, we also have an app. And on that app, it will take you to another app that will tell you about 51 apps you need to currently know about. Okay, so it gives you, as an adult, it gives you the option to click. Okay, you can scroll down. Once you get there, you can scroll down. You can go to Roblox, and you can click on it, and it'll just give you the facts. And you, as an adult, can make your decision whether you actually want your kid to participate in that or not. I mean, it gives you the facts.
Okay.
So that's one thing you can do. But one of the primary things that we tell adults, and especially if you're a parent, is don't live in fear regarding this issue, but just really be wise. And so the unfortunate thing is there's no, this is how it is for every single kid, right? Because every kid's got a different personality. Every kid responds to things differently. So some kids, right? So there's a national movement that I'm in full agreement with. And I actually would delay longer personally, but it's called Wait Till 8. And it's not 8 years old. It's wait till 8th grade before you give your student any kind of online technology. And even then, when you give it to them, make sure that you are monitoring it as the adult, right?
Right.
To keep your kid in the crosswalk, right? To keep them from wandering in the street and this information highway where the algorithms are literally designed to be against kids. It's on purpose, right? So I was at a whistleblowers conference where they said now if a minor posts those hot pics, like those 8th grade rules were, pretending, but if they send a real one,
right.
On average now that every one of those, at some point it will be seen, viewed, shared, potentially sold on average 400,000 times.
Wow. So basically a half
So
million times.
So and now our kids, so our half brain kids, they're not thinking about consequences right now or in the future.
No.
So this is where we're consistently, like, I've got suicidal kids almost in every single school assembly I go to. Listen, a couple weeks ago, I got done doing an assembly, and I was there the night before, and we did all those age appropriate school assemblies the next day. And I started the morning with high school at 8 o'clock in the morning. And then I had a 30-minute break, and then kindergarten, first and second grade, 30-minute break. And then third, fourth, and fifth grade, 30-minute break. And then finished the day with middle schoolers. That day I was handed 2 suicide notes because of mistakes. It's not if a kid makes a mistake, it's when they make a mistake online.
Yeah.
This is a rural community. Okay. This is an entire school district of less than like 1,200 kids. Okay. I had over 70 kids come talk to me about porn addictions.
70.
Asking for help. That's who came and made disclosures like immediately. I had 5 tragic situations, all of females, that were revealing familial sexual abuse, 3 by young older brothers, 1 by an uncle, 1 by a stepfather. I had 2 students who revealed that they had met a complete stranger in person. They first met online and within moments were violently sexually assaulted.
In person.
There, yes. So last year in our school assemblies, so we do anonymous voluntary surveys, 6th grade through 12th grade, and we're measuring their vulnerabilities. And roughly 44% of the students that we surveyed indicated that they have met a complete stranger in person they first met online.
Wow. So yeah, they've just been lured out. They got hooked in.
No creepy vehicle, no abduction.
No.
It's all about life online.
Let's meet at McDonald's or 7-Eleven and get a Slurpee.
The good news is so the kids take the survey at the end of our assemblies. They tell us what they've done. Now that you've experienced this life-changing assembly, where are you at now? Right under 86% of those kids say, I'm never doing that again.
Right.
That's rewarding.
That's
where I believe in kids. There's a hero in every one of them. Yeah, they're half-brain heroes. Some of them are knuckleheads, but we love them and we care about them, and it's like we want to invest in them, and that's why honestly I'm not angry at them. The deck
Right.
is stacked against them.
You can't be.
If
You can't
adults,
be. They're so easily duped because it's, especially in this day and age of, have your presence out there on social media and whatnot. So
yep.
it's so easy for them to. I mean, I've been scammed a couple of times just trying to promote the show and stuff, and it was so. And so now I've got that discerning eye, and I look at everything. My wife even, says, "Yeah, that sounds a little fishy. You might want to check that out." And it is, half the time, if it's the old proverb: if it doesn't sound right, it ain't.
Yeah.
And
so we foremost tell parents to not live in fear of this, but to use wisdom, and that's where for every kid's got to be different. The primary thing, so there are tools out there. So one of the tools that we recommend is there's, and again, this is on our website and our resources, but there's multiple options for once your kid gets to 8th grade. I actually prefer 16 years old before they have access to an internet phone, smartphone. But the wait till 8 movement is good. It's wait till 8th grade, but even then make sure that you're putting, listen, there's technology you can put on technology to keep you safer from technology, right? So
right.
One of the things we recommend, and we don't get any resources or money for saying this, but the Bark phone is probably one of the best. It's a cool looking phone. It's not like a dorky phone, so your kid's not ostracized as the nerd kid with a dumb looking phone. It's a cool looking phone. But for the adult in their life or a parent, whoever it might be, that thing can come locked down so that everything that your kid's doing on that phone. The beauty of that system is that as your kid grows, and here's the key word, trust. As you and your student develop trust with each other, you can release the parameters a little bit,
right?
But you can still monitor it.
Yep.
So as your 8th grader goes in, now 9th grader, now 10th grader, now heading off to college. Once they're in college, like hopefully the standards and the bar has been raised so high for how they're going to be safe in their online lives that they're not going to cross it. So my dog Bandit, right after all the years, even though he's enough a little bit ago, there's a line in the yard he won't cross without going on the leash. And that's just been trained. So it's the same. So this is why we've developed what we're doing in school. So like start at the youngest ages to begin to train our students along with adults in the community. Go, we're not against you. We're not against technology. We're going to give you every tool possible to help you be safer. And so that's really what we're encouraging parents. To your question, don't be in fear of this. Use wisdom, and within that realm, you're going to have to put some effort into it. So you can't use device as a lazy babysitter anymore. Because you can't trust what's happening.
Yeah. And that's part of the problem is, it's so easy just to hand them a tablet. Oh yeah, just play that game or whatever. And then while they're playing that game, all these other little things start filtering their way in, and they start to lose them. And then don't let your parents know about this or whatever. And it's absolutely disgusting and it's scary. It's so scary as us as parents, just even knowing that happens. I mean, it just makes you want to put them in a bubble and never let them out, but you got to. I mean, we all got to grow up and we all got to be able to do that. We are talking with Russ Tuttle, founder of the Stop Trafficking Project. Russ, I know we're getting a little short on time. I wanted to go over real quick on your website, which is the stoptraffickingproject.com, which you have tons of helpful information on here. There's one thing I want to get to real quickly. If people want you to come to their school, and I know you're getting requests out of state because this will go all over. Do you have other connections that you can turn them on to, or I'm sure you've got to have something like that available in other states like Nebraska or where, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. So there's buttons all over the website where they can reach out and contact us through info@stoptraffickingproject.com. And we tailor make based on what their requests are. We tailor make the information that goes back to them because every community has different needs, right? And so they'll get a response with us typically within 24 hours from a live person. Not using AI generated content, right?
So they'll get a response back
from us how we can help guide their next steps as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. All right. And so on your website, which I was trolling through earlier and a few days ago, you've got what are the 5 P's of human trafficking? And I think these are pretty pertinent informations. So can you go through those real quick just to kind of explain that whole process? I think this is great information for people to have.
So you're gonna have to remind me what you're talking about.
It says, okay, the 5 P's of human trafficking refers to prevention, protection, prosecution, partnership, and policy.
Yeah. So all of those have to be working together. And this is why our strategy has been developed that we call the Be Alert strategy based on those 5 P's. Because if any one of those 5 P's is missing in a community, the only way we're going to be able to help kids is to bring it all local.
Okay.
Right. So you can't rely on the high levels up here at the federal level or the state level. If we're actually going to help kids, it has to be at the local level. So those 5 P's are why we developed what's called the Be Alert strategy. And the alert, Be Alert, is an acronym for Be Active, Learning, Empowered, Relentless Together. We have to bring adults together around the 5 P's because listen, somebody might have one of those 5 P's where they're that's kind of their lane. Right. And so in their community, they can kind of own that. And what happens is when we do the adult presentations, we're pulling people together and then people look around the room and go, okay, well, I can do this and I can do this and I can do this. And they're engaging the Be Alert strategy where they're in it together because the most important thing is that we can't let the kids think that they're alone. Right. And we have to let the kids know that we can be in this together. So the 5 P's are a foundational aspect of, listen, if in a community, 3 of the 5 P's are missing, or maybe there's 4 P's, but 1 P's missing, then we go, okay, now it gives us a tangible plan strategically in that community to go, this is where we need to put more of our focus because there's nothing existing right here now. So when it comes kids and makes one of those disclosures, okay, right, whether it's the 8th grade girls that are this is fun and it's awesome, but we got some 8th grade boys who need some help, or we got a suicidal kid or whatever it is, we then have to have the processes in place. So that's kind of your 40,000 foot elevation explanation of that. And it's out of that. It's out of that because it gets very complicated.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It has multiple layers under it, right?
It's so basically like a neighborhood watch for. Yeah. Same. Okay. So that's because I know a lot of people.
It's taking all of those existing things in a community already and going, how can it apply to this? Because we're not experts in sex trafficking out here. Because guess what? Most communities, I guarantee you, there's no pattern of the creepy vehicle and abduction happening. Right now, if a guy pulls up in a pickup truck and a 12-year-old girl walks out of her house and gets in and goes away with him, I guarantee you it's because she's been talking to him online first. It's all about online seduction. Yeah, and they're playing all the algorithms and they're doing all the stuff and they're using the game and they're manipulating and they're finding a vulnerability in a kid that they can exploit.
Right. So and along those lines, how many because I know this is really becoming a thing lately, how many of these predators are starting to play on this whole transgender thing?
Yeah. So when we do the surveys of students, we give options for them how to identify themselves. Mm-hmm. And the kids who are struggling with their sexual identity, they are so vulnerable. In fact, I hate to end on, kind of a down thing, but there's a form of pornography most adults haven't heard of, but the kids all know about it. It's been around a couple of years, and it's called VORE, VORE. It's essentially AI generated cannibalism, and itch.io is full of games of this. Reddit has all the forums for it. So our kids who are most vulnerable to this are the kids who are struggling with those identities. Because they're specifically in a lot of areas being targeted for that. It's a real thing. So therefore, it brings joy to me when I can tell you that a 3rd grader came up to me and said, this was so much fun. Your dog Bandit's amazing. My 9th grade brother's stupid. Are you going to be talking to them too? Because he's doing all kinds of dumb stuff on his phone. Are you going to do a high school assembly too? And I'm like, yeah, bro, in about 30 minutes, I'm going to be doing a high school assembly. He's like, well, you make sure you call him. And he names his brother. He says, call him out in the assembly and tell them that you got to stop. He named his little bro. I got, dude, I can't do that, but I love the thought behind it. It made me laugh. And those are the kind of things, honestly, that just kind of like keep us and our team going, because these kids are awesome and they're amazing. And it is truly an honor to invest in them, because we honestly are not angry at them and we're not against technology, but we are all about the truth. And it's amazing. The truth sets people free, and the truth sets these kids free. And when you come in and you tell them the truth about their online space, they stand up and they make a declaration at the end of the assemblies. When I'm online, I'm gonna be a half brain hero.
There it is. There it is.
You get an army of half brain heroes. And are they going to still make mistakes? Absolutely they are. But you have the adults in the community who have new, fresh perspective and understanding. It's not about jaywalking. It's not about staying in the crosswalk. It's about our online lives and our online space. And we get adults to step into that. Man, we are moving the needle and keeping kids safer. And that's rewarding.
And that's the whole point. Hey, Russ, I know you got to get going, but I really, really, really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us today and talk with us. Anybody who needs to know anything more about this, go to the stoptraffickingproject.com, and everything. There's so much information on here that any questions you need. And then like Russ said, if you have something else you need to talk to them about, they will get back to you within about 24 hours, you said, right?
Other than weekends. Sometimes weekends it takes a little longer. We're a small team. So, yeah.
And they'll help you find resources if you're not in the Kansas, Missouri, Washington, Michigan area, whatever. They will help you find the resources that you need, the people you need to help you get through this. Russ, cannot thank you enough again. Keep doing what you're doing. God bless you for doing everything you do, man. You are absolutely awesome. And thank you for every little bit that you do, man. I know it cannot be easy sometimes. And you have the best heart in the world, man, and love you for it, dude.
Appreciate you. And thanks for letting me come on and having a little fun with it too. Cause it's deep, dark, and ugly, but you know what? You got to laugh, you got to have fun. So,
well, and that's what we try to expose it in a little bit lighter way, so that way everybody can hear it. You know what I'm saying? So, thank you for working with it and making it as good as you do, dude. And just keep going, and we were going to keep trying to raise money for you and help you all out. All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, Russ. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Russ Tuttle. Find him on the stoptraffickingproject.com. I got it scrolling down here on the bottom. If you're listening at home, the stoptraffickingproject.com. All the information you need is there. If you're in the Kansas, Missouri area, you guys, and I guess Michigan and Washington State, you guys can get him to come out there and hang out with you. So, get a hold of him through the website there. But there's so much information, just such good information available on here. Really go check it out. The stoptraffickingproject.com. In the meantime, we are going to take off, and next week we'll probably have Andy if he can get out of wherever he's stuck in. But in the meantime, it is I, Kristian, and I want to say thank you so much for being a part of the show and listening and watching, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Anyway, something just fell in my bathroom, so sorry. Hey, next week, where's my little clicky thing here? See, when Andy's not here, everything just technically goes to crap. Where is it? We've got next week. We've got E.B. Atkins right there. E.B. Atkins and Dave Serrano. They've been working movies on Echo TV, and E.B. is in a movie and series called Gone, which you got to see it. You got to hear about it to really check it out. It's a great little series out there on the internet on Echo TV. Dave is the director and basically creator of Echo TV. So you guys got to get in there, check him out. In the meantime, we will be back next week, as I said. And again, I'm so technically challenged right now. But we will be back next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Thank you so much for being with us. We need your donations, kids. Again, if you're having problems going through the Run to Stop It on the rockofkc.com, hit me up at the Random Kristian Show at gmail.com. I can take your Venmo, and then I'll give you a receipt after I deposit it to the Rock of KC for the Run to Stop It right here. You see it on my hat. The Run to Stop It program. But if you go to the rockofkc.com, scroll down, you'll find Run to Stop It. You click on that. Scroll down at the bottom, it'll say donate here. You click in there. You can put in whatever donation you want. Then put it in the memo notes. There's a little thing that says memo notes. Put in RTSI /TRKS, and they will know it's from us. And that way they will total it up and let us know once we hit $300. Once we hit $300, we get that matching donation. It all goes to Russ with the Stop Trafficking Project. Benji at Exodus.com or ExodusCry.com, and also the Relentless Pursuit, which we've had on a few years ago, but all great, amazing organizations that are helping people out there from the sex trafficking and getting prostitutes off the street and stopping people from getting sucked into the porn industry. Okay, saving men and women alike. All right, so go there, do it, be a part of it. In the meantime, we're going to take off. Love you guys. We will see you next week. Be good, kids. We're all we got out there. God bless you. And peace.